Welcome back to Elevation Perspective. My name is Mark, and today we are ranking the top 10 starting pitchers in Major League Baseball heading into 2025. I am going to kick off this list in controversial fashion. At number 10, I'm going with Jacob deGrom of the Texas Rangers. We all know deGrom's story by now, one of the best pitchers of this generation. I believe the most dominant pitcher of this generation during his peak years, but he, of course, has had a very difficult time staying on the field. In deGrom's first year with Texas, only started 6 games to his normal 2.67 ERA before finally giving into that elbow surgery, having the Tommy John. But the big reason why I put him on this list here is he came back at the end of 2024 and looked dominant, looked like himself. I'm hoping that with that surgery out of the way, deGrom is now presumably healthy. He can hopefully have a healthy 2025 season. It was a very small sample size for deGrom in 2024, only making those 3 starts coming back from the surgery, but the velocity was there, throwing 97.3 miles per hour. He had the hard slider still. I'm just hoping now with that ligament now surgically repaired, he can have a healthy season. I think for deGrom, all he needs to do is probably have 150 innings to be probably the Cy Young, at least a Cy Young favorite. As of right now, on February 20th, deGrom has a clean bill of health. For that reason, I cannot keep him off this list. deGrom comes in at number 10. At number 9, I'm going to go with Garrett Crochet, the brand new Boston Red Sox. Crochet had a very interesting 2024 season with the Chicago White Sox. In 146 innings pitched, Crochet pitched to a 3.58 ERA and struck out 209 batters with a 1.07 whip. The White Sox are being incredibly careful with Crochet, only giving him a couple innings at a time in his starts. They just want to keep this pitcher healthy so they can trade him in the offseason. So the ERA feels a little bit inflated. I feel like that 3.58 does not do justice to how he pitched last season. Like I said, he had some blowups there in those weird 2 or 3 inning starts toward the end of the season. Also, looking at Crochet's advanced numbers here, it just jumps off the page at you how talented this pitcher is. A 2.85 expected ERA, much lower than his actual ERA at 3.58. Look at those chase with K numbers, just off the charts here. I think Crochet might have the best skills of any starting pitcher in the entire league. He just has to show the workload. He has to go out there and show he can pitch 200 innings or even 180 innings of a real starter workload. I think Garrett Crochet is the real deal, a tremendous amount of talent in that left arm of his. All he has to do, in my opinion, is stay healthy for an incredible 2025 season. At number 8, I'm going to go with Garrett Cole of the New York Yankees. I'm in a very weird spot with Garrett Cole right now, trying to decide who this pitcher is. Cole missed 75 games in 2024 with that right elbow injury he sustained during spring training. In 2024, he wound up making 17 starts to a 3.41 ERA. He struck out 99 batters in 95 innings with a 1.13 whip. It wasn't the 2.63 ERA we saw from Cole in his Cy Young season in 2023, but still, a 3.41 ERA while pitching through some kind of elbow problem is encouraging. There is also a recency bias in baseball like there is in all sports, and the last time we saw Garrett Cole was in the World Series, absolutely dominating the Dodgers lineup. In the World Series, Cole started in 2 games, pitching 12 and 2/3 innings, only letting up 1 earned run. I put Cole on this list where I did because I'm a little bit nervous here that the elbow issue is a little bit of a precursor to possible a more serious problem or Tommy John. You gotta remember, this is a guy who's been so durable for so many years, so many innings on this pitcher's elbow from the Yankee years, from the Astro years, from the Pirate years. He has been the model of health and durability for so long, you just wonder if it's catching up to him. At number 7, we are going with Cole Ragans of the Kansas City Royals. In 2024, Reagan showed the 23 season was no fluke. He started in 32 games to a 3.14 ERA, logged 186 in the 3rd innings while striking out 223 batters. I think there's been a fair amount of skepticism and questions asked about Cole Ragans over the last handful of years. You gotta remember, this guy has had 2 Tommy John surgeries. He was traded 1-for-1 for Aroldis Chapman at the deadline a few years ago. He was not looked upon as this ace-like pitcher. But the expected numbers pretty much back up everything Ragans has done to this point. A great xERA, a good xBA, great whiff percentage, great K percentage, good barrel rate, good hard hit percentage. The walk rate's a little bit high, and I think there's some fly balls against him, pretty low ground ball rate as well. But playing in Kauffman Stadium, also playing against the American League Central, definitely helps mitigate the damage there. Even with all of Reagan's health concerns in the past, I look forward and project him as a true number 1 starting pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. At number 6, I'm going to go with Logan Gilbert of the Seattle Mariners. In 2024, Logan Gilbert started 33 games. He had a 3.23 ERA. In 208 and 2/3 innings pitched, he struck out 220 batters with an elite 0.89 whip. When I think about Gilbert, I think about 2 things. His extension he gets off the mound when he's releasing the baseball, and his durability. Gilbert is in the 100th percentile in extension. What that means is his 6'6" build, his 96.6 mile per hour fastball, looks like probably 99 to 100 to the opposing batter. And then his durability, starting at least 32 games in the last 3 seasons. My one drawback with Gilbert, like so many other Seattle Mariners starting pitchers, extreme home road splits. At home, Gilbert had a 2.49 ERA, on the road a 3.94. There's been a lot of chatter about Seattle's home park, how the batter's eye is pretty tough, the hitters can't really see the baseball. It makes a lot of sense why this elite starting rotation is so much better at home. But until the Mariners make a change to the ballpark, change the batter's eye, whatever they may do, it's not a problem for Logan Gilbert at this time. I view Logan Gilbert as a true number 1 pitcher and in a fine position at number 6. At number 5, I'm going with Chris Sale of the Atlanta Braves. Chris Sale won the National League Cy Young Award in 2024, pitching to a 2.38 ERA in 177 2/3 innings, striking out 225 batters. Chris Sale was absolutely phenomenal in 2024, but important to note here was his first healthy season since 2017. I think we're at a point with Chris Sale, even at age 35, where we assume when he's on the mound, he's going to pitch well. An impressive savant page for Chris Sale to back up everything he did in 2024 as well. Nothing fluky here at all. He's also healthy right now in spring training. Had that back issue which caused him to not be available for the Braves in the playoffs last year. So as long as he's healthy, I'm fine with him in this position. Chris Sale's at number 5. At number 4, I'm going to go with Corbin Burnes, the brand new Arizona Diamondback. In 2024, Corbin Burnes pitched in 32 games for the Baltimore Orioles to a 2.92 ERA, pitching in 194 1/3 innings while striking out 181 batters. The only alarming thing about Corbin Burnes right now is that K per 9. It's been dropping the last handful of years, but even with that K percentage dropping down, he's still pitching at such a high level. Burnes has been an absolute workhorse as well the last handful of seasons. The last 3 years, he started at least 32 games or more while pitching 193 innings or more in each season. The Diamondbacks' defensive infield is also very strong with Marte, Perdomo, and Suarez. Burnes' 48.8% ground ball rate in the 81th percentile should play up really well with this Diamondbacks defense. I think Corbin Burnes is the most reliable starting pitcher in baseball and very deserving of the number 4 spot. At number 3, I'm going with Zach Wheeler of the Philadelphia Phillies. In 2024, Wheeler started 32 games to a 2.57 ERA. In 200 innings, he struck out 224 batters with a 0.96 whip. Wheeler has been really good for a really long time with the Phillies. This was a pitcher with the Mets who had tons of injuries, multiple surgeries. He came to the Phillies and somehow flipped a switch and found durability. Wheeler gets great extension and limits hard contact at an elite level. There are not a whole lot of holes to poke into Zach Wheeler's games. Maybe the only one I can see here is he'll be 35 for a majority of the season in 2025. He has a lot of innings on those arms, not only just in the regular season, but lots of deep playoff runs for the Phillies. Maybe some concerns going forward, but right now Zach Wheeler is an ace, and I like him a lot in the number 3 position. At number 2, I'm going to go with Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates. Paul Skeens was the rookie sensation in 2024, so incredibly fun to watch. Started in 23 games, pitched to a 1.96 ERA, 133 innings, 170 strikeouts with a 0.95 whip. The Pirates selected Skeens first overall in 2023 after his historically excellent college career at LSU. Skeens won the Rookie of the Year in a very tough competition with Jackson Merrill and Jackson Churio. He started the All-Star game and he was 3rd in the Cy Young voting while only making 23 starts. Skeens is just tremendous. His pitches are absolutely filthy. He's built like a horse at 6'6", 260, only 22 years old. This is a guy who has a chance to be a perennial Cy Young candidate for the next 10 to 15 years. And in the number 1 position for starting pitchers entering 2025, I am going with Tarik Skubal of the Detroit Tigers. Skubal won the American League Cy Young Award in 2024, pitching in 31 games to a 2.39 ERA. In 192 innings pitched, Skubal had 228 strikeouts and a 0.92 whip. Skubal also logged an additional 19 innings in the postseason in his 3 starts against the Astros and the Guardians. 211 innings combined for Skubal in the regular season and postseason, a tremendous workload for the Tigers ace. Looking at Skubal's savant page now, it is very pretty. It's a left-handed starting pitcher throwing 97 miles per hour with an elite walk rate at 4.6%, an elite strikeout rate at 30.3%. Just does everything you want to see extremely well. Also, for factors outside of Skubal's control here, he has Comerica Park, the Tigers' home ballpark, at his disposal, a huge pitchers-friendly ballpark, as well as pitching the American League Central. Just everything is going positive for Tarek Skubal. Overall, Skubal is an absolute stud, and I believe he is very deserving of the #1 position on this list. And that is our starting pitcher list. A very tough list, I must say. Probably about 4 or 5 names I had a very hard time leaving off this group. Also, the 1 and 2 positions were very hard for me. Went back and forth a lot with Skeens and Skubal. I went with Skubal simply because of the workload. He showed he could pitch for a full season and into the playoffs, something we have not seen from Skeens just yet. But with all that being said, that is our top 10 starting pitchers we have ranked going into 2025. Hopefully everyone enjoyed this video, and thank you so much for watching.